since we are doing a little tour around the world, we're going to start right here in Las Vegas. So let's kick that off with MGM Resorts.
MGM Resorts means gaming and entertainment. At 31 unique hotel and gaming locations, including some of the most acclaimed resort brands in the industry, MGM delivers something for everyone. Best-in-class hotels and casinos, state-of-the-art business spaces, award-winning dining, and incredible live theatrical experiences. Please welcome to the stage, Bill Hornbuckle.
Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Didn't know we were going to get a commercial. I appreciate it.
Yes. Oh, yes. No, absolutely. And we look forward to having CloudWorld at MGM in the near future. So very, very exciting. Since we're starting here in Las Vegas, I thought we would really start with the star of Las Vegas, and that's you. And you have been in this industry really your whole career. And you have watched it change, hospitality change, the requirements change, and Las Vegas change. Share a little bit about what the future looks like here.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Las Vegas. It's been, for me, it's an amazing journey. I got here 47 years ago. It was the late 1970s, and I saw a town with 300,000 people. Today, we're about 2.5 million people. I saw a town that was casino-centric, and with the exception of Hilton, wasn't very hospitality-centric. And over those last 4 decades, if you think about it, we've emerged as a resort town with the emergence of the Mirage. We came heavy with dining. Now we have world-class dining, world-class retail. We have a huge entertainment platform. Our company alone, and some of you, I think, last night went to the Sphere, which is an amazing attraction for the community. But our company alone has 29 venues, and so we consider ourselves an entertainment platform for business, for entertainment. Last week, we had Gaga and Bruno Mars on the stage together. So who would have thought 20 years ago, who would have thought 15 years ago, you could ever make that happen in Las Vegas? And this group here, and you bringing this to Las Vegas today, demonstrates we've become a world-class and world-renowned convention and business destination. And so the transformation's been incredible. Excited to be a part of it. I've seen much of this journey and traveled through it, and sit here today now as the CEO of one of the biggest companies. Excited by that.
Well, you're awfully modest, because some of the folks out here want to hear a little bit about your career. Because though I started as a waitress, you started as a busboy.
I did.
So maybe you could share a little bit about those 47 years and some of the lessons you learned along the way.
Sure. So I grew up in Connecticut. And at the time, this is back in the mid-70s, you could be a bartender when you were 18. So I was a bartender, and wow, this is fun. It was social, it fit my persona. I said, I'm going to get into the hospitality business. And it started finding schools, UNLV being one of them. And I ended up out here with a couple of my colleagues and my friends. But when I got here, I was 19 and didn't realize you had to be 21 to 10 bar. Put a little economic dent in my pocketbook. But I started as a busboy, literally room service busboy, and just transitioned my way through the industry, did about 15 front service jobs, ended up then making my way through a little serendipity. I was working night audit at the then Las Vegas Hilton, which is now the Westgate. And Baron Hilton happened to walk up to the front desk at like 5 in the morning, looking for change. Okay, Mr. Hilton, I'd be happy to give you change. And we started a chatter. I couldn't let him get away from me. And literally 2 weeks later, I was a suit and tie back at the Flamingo. And I've been in management development in this industry, focused on Las Vegas, but we're a global company. We have places in Macau, we're building in Japan. And so it's been an amazing journey, and one that, we have 55,000 colleagues here. We have 80,000 colleagues in the company. And so it's a journey we all take, but it's a great journey. In terms of what I've learned, culture of yes is really, really important to me. Find a way to say yes to an employee, say yes to a customer, Even though we're large scale, we have policy and procedure, it's about wanting to say yes. And I think the other thing that has served me well is servant leadership. I grew up in the industry, as you know. I know their job, I've done their job, we're all in this together. And to the extent we can lead with that mindset and that mentality, I think it makes for a better leader and ultimately a better organization. And so we're proud of what we've done, we're proud of where the industry is, and frankly, where it's going.
It is incredible. Las Vegas, there is nothing that is not in Las Vegas. And as you know, F1 is in Las Vegas, and so that always means we're around too. So there's really nothing not here. I think what is very clear, though, is in hospitality and gaming, expectations keep going up.
Yeah, they do. And
the question really is, how do you stay ahead of them, and what role does technology have in that?
Look, most all of us are publicly traded companies, MGM of note, and so the expectations are, and the question is, has Las Vegas reached its peak? The answer is hell no. Between sports of note, it's one more thing we have created. We're hot on the tails of the NBA. We've now moved the Oakland A's to Las Vegas. We're not welcome in Oakland anymore, I can assure you, between that and the Raiders. But the town continues to evolve. And on the front end of that, particularly for us, because of our scale, it is about technology. When you check into a place like Bellagio or even this hotel, but I'll say Bellagio since it's the one we run, and there's 4,000 rooms, the trick is, how do you personalize it? How do you make it feel like your home, it's your place, we understand you, we want to be there for you, without showing up and having 50 people in line at the front desk. And so through digital concierge, digital check-in, kiosk check-in, many of the things now that tie to the front end ultimately tie out to what we do with you all in Opera. We've changed dramatically that whole experience. Because of COVID, we pushed ourselves into digital check-in. We now check in about 35% of our guests on their phone. They can start from the airport when they land, and they can use it as their device for their key and the digital concierge. And so it's become a meaningful connection for us.
Yeah, and it also gives better service, and if done correctly, it's also less expensive to run.
Yes.
I noticed that you mentioned Opera. For those of you who don't know, that's actually Oracle's property management system. And we've partnered with MGM on a number of different ways, not only with Opera, but with Fusion. And maybe you could share a little bit about how that's helping your business.
Sure. We, like I think many large-scale organizations that grew by acquisition and by growth, by our own growth, we're green screen all of our financial systems. And so we looked at the Fusion technology, we looked at the package, and we said, count us in. We made the decision in 2018, started to deploy it in May of 2020. Good news, bad news. The good news was it enabled people to work from home. It was the first quick benefit we picked up on that, which in May of 2020 was actually a very big deal for the company. Since then, we've put the systems in full deployment. It's reduced our labor by about 25 to 30%. It's helped us obviously streamline financial systems reporting, the customization of reporting, without having to change the software itself and ultimately programming. And so it's been a huge advantage for us moving forward. And so we're excited to continue to work with that product and some of the other ones too in terms of the cloud and some other things coming up.
Yeah, no, it's so fun for us to be working with you. It's a segment that has just been growing and it's always fun too. I mean, there's a lot but it's a lot of work that you all do. Now, Bill, you do not think you will get off this stage without talking about AI a little bit, okay? That is not going to happen. So maybe you could chat with me a little bit about how AI changes the game.
Sure. I go back to what I said earlier about, and think about things like the check-in process. We'll get 15 to 20,000 calls a day for reservations and or information. The reality is only 20% of those calls convert. That's the basic math. And so handling the other 80% with that front-end interaction that's efficient, effective, we are leaning more and more into AI taking on that responsibility. I think the ultimate vision for us is it then begins to handle the 20% and it begins to handle it in a personalized and customized way. Our business has always been about, particularly at the high end of gaming. Here's an interesting stat. 50% of our gaming revenues come from 1% of our customers. So we know those 1%, we know their birthday, we know their kid's birthday, we know everything about them. AI will enable us to know everything about not everybody, but a lot of folks who have been here, and ultimately tailor an experience so that when you call for a girls' weekend, not like when you come for a convention, you've been here before, we know what you want, and we can tailor it and send it to you and say, how about we book this for you? And then the ultimate dream is it books it on through. And so it just takes all that friction and greatly reduces it. Something we're excited by. I know a lot of industry worried about AI. We embrace it, we love it, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, you see, that's really the difference between success and failure. A CEO who embraces this, who wants to get ahead of it, who wants to use it as a competitive advantage and lead with it, versus one who's afraid of it and wants to just keep things the old way. I mean, that's the reason you've been so successful. Starting as, okay, I didn't give you enough credit, bartender, then demoted to busboy, but made your way back. So we're all very proud. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for welcoming us here. Thank you.